It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Harvard's head women's basketball coach, Coach Carrie Moore. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Brandon. It's Carrie Moore also, by the way. Just wanted to make sure you get that right. But
Can you talk about, of course, how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in college women's basketball?
yeah, I don't think I always knew that I wanted to coach. I think it was something that kind of came about as I, kind of got through my playing career, played overseas for a little bit, had some time professionally to kind of figure myself out. And then an opportunity at Princeton came my way and was something that I really just could not turn down. And one thing happened after another. If you learn anything in this business is that things move very quickly. So 13 years later, I look up and I'm now the head coach, at Harvard. So ended up working out, better than I could have imagined it to. But I think for me, I coach to give back to so many incredible young women and really just pay it forward and give back to a game that has given me so much. So just incredibly, excited about the opportunity every single day.
What was your college time like going to Western Michigan and getting to put on that jersey?
It was incredible. I don't think I actually, really appreciated the moment as much as I should have looking back on it now, just recalling my time there. It's college is hard. It's like you're going through so much, as a young woman and again, like trying to understand yourself and you're growing and you're changing and you're finding out what you're really interested in and who you really are and at the same time got a great education and did really well academically and also tried to make a name for myself on the floor. And so I do know I gave it my all. And, I look back on it now and it's great to, have done some of the things that I did, from a basketball standpoint. I don't talk about it much, but other people seem to bring it up all of the time, especially my senior year and a lot of the records, that were broken and that still, are in the books till today. So you just never know what kind of stuff can really stick with you. And so I'm glad that I did give it everything that I had when I was doing it.
Of course, how does it feel to have some of your records broken, but still some of them still kept?
I want them to be broken. I don't, I think it's great. It was awesome for me to have that time and those moments, were obviously really exciting. And I felt like I was doing something really important and special. But at the same time, the game is evolving and the players are, they're so talented. So I think, for the program, I would love for them to get a dynamic player that can really make a name for themselves and ultimately, help the program to be better. So I'm happy when it comes about. I don't really know. I'm not tracking on what still stands and what doesn't, but I do know no one has broken the all-time leading scoring record. That's the one that I probably will hear about if it does happen. So, but yeah, excited for the day, when it does.
Of course, coming out of college, what was it like getting signed to the WNBA to play for the Phoenix Mercer and the Chicago Sky?
That was a kind of full circle moment. I think as a little kid, as a young player, you always aspire to play, at the professional level and not just the professional level, but, for sure the WNBA on the women's side. I grew up watching a ton of those players, and for me, just being able to, spend a month or a month and a half or however long I was there until I got cut, I think it was, something that I'll cherish forever. I remember putting on the jersey and seeing my name on the back of it, and, warming up and just being on the floor and like in the practices and holding my own. And it was just an awesome time, to play the game. And so, just an incredible experience for me.
What was that feeling like getting to put on that WNBA jersey and seeing your name and living out your dream?
It's surreal. You work so hard for such a fleeting, time of life, but it is, I tried to cherish it, every single day, in those training camps and during those exhibition games, and, just learning and kind of soaking up everything that I could from the players and the coaches, really just being a sponge, and that kind of propelled me into my coaching career. I feel like just being a sponge in everything that I do, and it's all about the work. And so for me, it was about being the best version of myself every single day in that camp, and knowing that, that when the day came that I did have to leave, I could hold my head high and know that I did everything that I could to showcase myself. So, but yeah, definitely a dream and something that I'm so happy that happened.
Of course, how was it like getting to play overseas in Poland and then transitioning over to college coaching?
Overseas is great. I tell all of our players, play as long as you possibly can, because trust me, you will lose everything that you once could do as a player. Slowly but surely, it seems to taper off every year that I'm alive. So really just soak up the moment and play as long as you can. I mean, it's such an incredible experience to be able to travel the world, live over the water, and, play the game you love and get paid to do it. And just have a lot of fun. And, there are some challenges. I mean, it's, you have the language barrier, and, just for me, it was being away from home for the first time. I went to college 2 hours away from my house that I grew up in, and my parents and family were always around. So it was like a very, very uncomfortable, probably 2 to 3 weeks for me when I first got over there. But just such a growth experience, and really, I'm so happy that I did it. So definitely encourage everyone, to all the players, if you can, to get overseas and do it, for at least a year. But yeah, I think that experience and everything that I did, prior to, I think has helped me in my coaching career.
How was the transition like from going from being a professional player to getting into college coaching?
Yeah, I think it has helped me tremendously. I think my first job was at Princeton as a director of basketball operations, and I don't think I would have been as appealing to Coach Banghart if I didn't come from the career that I had, and if I didn't have the experiences on my resume that I had. So I definitely think that hard work paid off in a tremendous way, because Coach Banghart has been, a tremendous friend and mentor to me throughout my time in the business, and has definitely helped me get to where I am today.
Of course, how has your time at Princeton helped you to get your first coaching job at Creighton as the assistant coach?
Yeah, so I was there for 2 years. Again, about the work, tried to, do as much as I could to really help take that program to the next level. We were really trying to, put Princeton on the map, in a sense of, the tradition wasn't much there, before, Coach Banghart got there. And, I was her first ever director of basketball operations. So really just kind of, inventing that particular role on her staff, and really trying to help her grow, fan base and alumni base, and just being there for our players in an incredible way, and really, again, just learning and soaking up everything from a coaching standpoint. So after 2 years there, was able to, really, she was pushing me out of the door, like, where do you want to go? Where, I want to help you, be a coach. You're ready to coach. And so Creighton just happened to be the first job that was, that I saw kind of on the little ticker, on the NCAA ticker. And I said, I'm going to apply for that one. Didn't know a whole lot about it. Didn't even really know where Creighton was. I mean, somebody told me Nebraska, and I said, I don't even, where is that? So being a Midwest girl, you don't really know too much about the middle of the country, but ended up being an incredible time of my life. Was able to spend 5 really meaningful years there and really grow up as a young woman and a coach. And again, was a part of, a great program, a lot of winning, and worked for an incredible boss in Jim Flannery. So,
Of course, how is it like returning back to Princeton after your time at Creighton as the assistant coach?
That also was an incredible experience for me. I mean, I loved my time at Princeton. I felt like after 2 years, it was just such too short almost. And just always had it, in the back of my head, like would love to get back here to be a coach one day. And Coach Banghart and I, we're in constant communication, and luckily she trusted me and, really, really put a lot of value in having me, alongside her. And I think we hit it off really well, and, had a ton of success together, was able to really help her recruit, at a high level, and bring in some really great players and families, to build a tremendous culture, and was able to win a lot of games. So it was a great 3 years.
Of course, how is it like coming with Coach Banghart to North Carolina and obviously getting to coach at Carolina?
Yeah. I mean, every girl knows, young girl, at least in my generation, knows about North Carolina women's basketball. So, I grew up watching those guys, Ivory Lotta, Charlotte Smith, and, it's just, I could go on and on about all the players that have played there, and just Michael Jordan on the men's side, and Carmichael Arena. So it was just a really cool experience, and a lot of work. We in 2 years, I learned a ton about, just coaching in general that I didn't necessarily know coming from Princeton. The Ivy League is a whole nother entity in itself. And then you get to the Power 5 level, and your eyes are incredibly wide open to just everything: network, resources, scholarships, facilities, recruiting. It's just on a whole other, other scale. So, but some great people. RDU area is an incredible place. Love the weather. It's a an athletic department that is committed to excellence. All the sports win there, which is one of the reasons that it attracted Coach Banghart to going there. There was a tradition there. A lot of similarities to kind of where I'm at right now, but yeah, it was just a great 2 years, and really happy that I dove into that experience and helped get them, a lot of great players that are on their team currently, and taking their program back to where it belongs.
How is it like obviously getting to step on the Carmichael fit court and obviously getting to play teams like NC State and Duke?
Yeah, it's again, great experience, from a coaching standpoint. I think, you get into the business and you kind of want to work your way up and, really elevate your game, similar to kind of how, you want to compete as a player. You really want to be fortunate enough to have that opportunity from a coaching standpoint to, coach at a really high level. And so that's, was fortunate enough to get that at Carolina. Walking into Carmichael was really cool the first time. I mean, a ton of blue. Obviously, the Carolina blue is so pretty. But it's kind of cool because it's like all different types of blue in there, just with the different, I think, kind of generations of, kind of renovations that they've done. But seeing all the banners, national championship banner, All-American banners, knowing that's, getting the stories of MJ in the building. They still have kind of the little door heading into the locker room. That was like his door going into his locker room, that they never wanted to touch. So it's just, there's just a ton of, tradition and pride, that belongs to that place. And so it was awesome to be a part of, for me, that someone who's such a basketball junkie. Yeah.
Of course, what was it like returning to Michigan and getting to coach at Michigan?
That was a dream, for me, and we've just talked about, I've been a coach, at some really great places. But I tell people all the time, this past year was, the most fun that I've ever had as a coach in the business. Michigan was always a dream opportunity for me. From the state, grew up watching Michigan men's and women's basketball. Love everything about, Michigan sports. And so when Coach Rico called me, just really felt like it was an opportunity that I could not pass up. And that's where my family is. So it was great to finally, have a sense of kind of that work-life balance and be able to look up in the stands and see my parents, finally for the first time really in 13 years, they're finally at games in the stands that I'm coaching, as opposed to, just watching it on live streams or on television. So everyone was invested. Our team was incredible. So much fun to be around, so much fun to coach, so talented. To be able to get to the Elite Eight was something that I will remember for a very long time. So yeah, it was awesome.
What was the feeling like when you got the head coaching job at Harvard and returned back to the Ivy League?
Again, I know I continue to say this word, but just incredibly surreal, and also very much a dream of mine. I've always admired the place, the people, so much tradition. When we were at Princeton, they were so hard to play against, so hard to beat. And I loved that about this place. And, for me, I'm humbled. I'm honored. It's such a blessing. It's just a tremendous, opportunity, that I've been given to really, to lead this program and help move it forward. And I could not be more thankful that it has come from a place like Harvard.
Of course, how was the transition like from obviously going from being an assistant throughout your coaching career to getting that first opportunity as head coach?
Yeah, it's been very busy. I have been on the job now for 2 months, a little bit over 2 months, and it's just constant. There's always something every single day, and your head's constantly spinning. I sleep less. I try to work out more just to get my, just keep my mojo going, and just keep me grounded. But I think, it's you don't know what you don't know, and as an assistant for so long, you try to prepare yourself for these moments. And I'm just learning by the day. There's something new that pops up every single day, and I know that I can handle it, and just really trying to figure it all out as I go. But yeah, such an awesome opportunity, and really excited to be able to do it with an incredible staff that I've now hired, and a great team that I'm excited to coach.
Of course, what was the feeling like when you got to sit in that first seat and all the roles and responsibility was on you?
Yeah, so I haven't actually sat in the seat yet because we haven't played any games, but I'm sitting in the head coach's office. Like it's just very, very different. And a lot of people, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but a lot of head coaches that have reached out to me in the past couple months have said their advice is like, it can get lonely at the top. So know that I'm here for you. And so my goal is for it not to get that lonely, based on how I treat people. But I feel like there is some truth to that, just because, you are at the top of the food chain, and you are the leader of the program. And so that puts you kind of, up there, by yourself. But I think there's some truth to the phrase that says, you win with people. And it really is all about, kind of who you surround yourself with, and who you can lean on, and when things are good, but definitely when things are tough. And so feel really good about, the staff that I've put together, and the players that we currently have, the players that are coming in, and the recruits that we're in conversations with, because, I know they'll help me feel a little bit less alone.
Of course, what is that feeling going to feel like come this upcoming year when you get to sit in that first seat on game day?
It's going to be great. I don't know how much I'm going to sit though, Brandon, but I'll probably sit in it for a hot second until till the ball's tipped, and then I'm sure I'll be up running around yelling something either to our players or to the refs. So but it's going to be awesome. My family's already got it on the calendar because they're headed, they're going to head to Boston for it. So it'll be great to turn around and look at them and just, kind of breathe and, it's really happening. And then just to be able to, look in our players' eyes and know that I've got their back and I'm sure that they're going to have mine and that we're all going to give it our all. And, I think it'll be an incredible experience and can't wait to get that first dub in the win column.
Can you talk about, of course, the program and what your plans are for the upcoming years?
Yeah. I at the end of the day, I want our players to look back on their experience and just love their time here and know ultimately that they were cared for in a tremendous way by their staff, their coaches, but also their teammates. And, I want this to be a place that they know that they are genuinely cared for and loved on. But at the same time, know that we're going to push them and we're going to be tough on them. There's a fine balance between love and toughness that I've tried to find. And, I think that's my goal every single day. So just want to build tremendous culture. And I think the winning will take care of itself. I've recruited at a high level to this league. And there's no reason why we can't do that at a place like Harvard. So really just excited to hit the ground running there. And just help equip them and build them up in hopes that they are, much better when they leave here than when they arrived.
Of course, how is it going to feel like to obviously get back into coaching at the Ivy Leagues and get to coach Princeton, Yale, and obviously Penn?
Yeah, I can't wait. I know a lot of the coaches in the league. I know a lot of the players in the league. So it's going to be a very personal experience for me, which I'm sure will bring out the competitor in me even more. So just really excited to get to compete in such a, up and coming league. I feel like the talent continues to get better, which therefore means our teams are getting better. There's younger, newer coaches that are excited about where they're at and are really changing the game from a recruiting standpoint and bringing in, players that this league has not seen. So it's going to be fun. Just really, really can't wait for the opportunity.
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to play college women's basketball?
The recruiting process it's a process for sure. I think it's something that is continues to be ongoing. And everything with transfer portal and all of that stuff makes it a little bit more complicated nowadays. But I think it's definitely something from an Ivy League perspective. I want to be very relationship driven. I very much value the person, not just the student or the athlete. I think it's really important to really get to know and pour into, the person first and the family. I think that's the beginning of the culture that I want to build. And so just being able to present, young women and their families with this type of opportunity to go to Harvard, I'm just excited to be the one that gets to do it.
What are some of the things that you look at in those prospective student athletes when on the road?
Little things, Brandon. Just the intangibles. Obviously, if you can score, that speaks for itself. But I think outside of that, just incredible amount of toughness. How hard you play, your motor. Do you rebound? Do you defend? Are you a communicator? Are you vocal? What kind of teammate are you? Just all those little things that I think add up to being the things that help you win at the end of the day, I think are huge.
Of course, what is it like, obviously, as a coach, getting to see those recruits and those prospective student athletes get to fall in love with the Harvard University's campus and the program?
It's really incredible. Just hearing everyone's reaction to, when I'm on the phone with them and I'm, presenting this opportunity and, literally right after I stop speaking, what I'm hearing is like, oh my God, it's so that's so great. I'm so thankful. Like, this is incredible, So just to be able to hear those responses to me it just continues to keep me grounded every single day, because I know what I'm doing is so impactful. And again, to be able to do what we're doing at Harvard, is so different. It's so unique, but yet so powerful. And so, I think it's going to be something that, I will cherish, forever, those responses.
Of course, what advice would you give those prospective student athletes looking to play college women's basketball?
Just be yourself, and work hard. I think, the work speaks for itself, and everything else will take care of itself. So, practice as much as you can, and compete when you're given the chance and the opportunity to do so. And you have a great chance at landing somewhere great.
What advice would you give those college athletes looking to play in the WNBA or even overseas?
Again, it's all about the work. You can have a goal, but it's all about, kind of what you do, during that time to help you achieve it. So, a lot of people told me I couldn't do it, that I couldn't, get to that level. And, I proved a lot of people wrong, especially from where I came from at a school like Western Michigan University. I mean, not a ton of people are coming out of Western, playing in the league, or, playing overseas. So, it doesn't matter what everyone else says. It's all about, what's in here, and what you believe, and how hard you're driven. So, never let anyone tell you that you can't do anything. The sky is the limit, and just go after it as hard as you can.
What advice would you give future college coaches looking to get started in the industry?
Um, Again, common theme, all about the work incredibly hard, and you'll have success. But I also think there is a huge networking piece to this business. Again, I don't think I would be here, if, one, I didn't have the success that I've had, but two, if I didn't know the people in this business that I know and have attached myself to. So I think it's very important to, put yourself out there and, communicate and network, go to, Final Fours and in different, different programs throughout the season, or in and out of the season, to help connect you with others, that you might not necessarily know before going. So I think that stuff is huge. Sending handwrites, like finding creative ways to just, get on the table, in front of people. So you are heard, and you are known, kind of, throughout your time.
What advice would you give future head coaches such as yourself looking to get started in coaching as a head coach?
You're saying, what advice do I give to who now? Sorry.
Future head coaches looking to get started.
Yeah. Buckle up. It's gonna be a fun and bumpy ride, but it's going to be incredibly worth it. Again, I think you put in so much time and energy and effort into, getting to this point in your career. And it really is. I mean, it's incredibly rewarding, just with everything that happens after that point. So, and I'm only 2 months in, so I can't wait to see what else, it's like. So, keep at it. There's a ton of people out here that are going to be there for you, and be tremendous resources for you when you get to that point. Lean on those that love you and are there for you, and that know you, and hire a great staff that you feel good about coming to work with every day, and doing some really hard things together. So, that's really important.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Harvard Women's Basketball Program?
You said, where can you find me?
Where can I find you at on social media along with the Harvard Women's Basketball Program?
Yeah, so I'm probably most active on Twitter, which is at Coach Moore 33. So go find me. Get my followers up. That'd be great. And then our Harvard stuff is all Harvard WBB. So definitely was just on a social media content call with our staff this morning on, how we can be, better there from a social media standpoint. and getting our followers up and getting our likes up and comments and just being really strategic and intentional about the content that we're putting up. So go follow me, go follow us. Definitely excited to connect with people moving forward.
That's great. Thank you again, Coach Carla Moore, for your interview, and best luck in your future in the Harvard program.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Moore, for your interview, and best luck in your future.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.